Just recently, an individual demonstrated an extraordinary feat, memorizing over 40 minutes of speech for an international competition held in the magnificent Pantheon of Paris. After a rigorous selection process involving 1,000 universities and 250 candidates, this participant became the first non-Francophone in history to reach the final, and notably was the only one among all contenders to perform without any written notes or support. It would be easy to assume such results stem from a natural gift for memory or a biological predisposition to absorb and retain vast amounts of information. However, the truth is that these incredible outcomes are the consequence of training one of the most vital muscles we possess, memory itself, through fruitful, efficient, and most importantly, intelligent methods. This video aims to explore how to transform functional memory into an infinite space, an inexhaustible source for storing all kinds of details, memories, numbers, information, resources, and much more. The focus today will not be on precise techniques, as those are extensively covered elsewhere on this channel and will be the subject of a specific future video. Instead, this discussion centers on daily practices and habits deemed essential to uncondition, strengthen, and prepare memory for applying those more specialized techniques later on. The first step to strengthening memory lies in its fundamental nature. Yes, memory is a cognitive faculty, but through consistent effort, it can be likened to a muscle that can be trained daily. Consider a scenario. If someone spends 5 years consuming a lot of food daily but remains sedentary, never moving beyond the sofa, would it be surprising if they became exhausted after just 5 minutes at the gym? Of course not. So why is there such frustration when forgetting a recent dream, a revolutionary idea had while doing dishes, what was eaten yesterday, or the car keys location? It happens if the habits that strengthen and maintain these cognitive faculties have not been nurtured. For thousands of years, human beings navigated life without GPS, compelled to remember where weapons were hidden, where the river flowed, or the direction of their tribe. Memory, in its essence, has faced a profound challenge from the digital revolution. Today, with Google Maps or City Mapper, finding information is just a few clicks away. There is no longer a pressing need to recall the exact date the Soviet Union collapsed or when the French Revolution ended. This is not an anti-technology stance. These developments have indeed optimized lives in many aspects. However, one negative consequence of these advances is a degradation of retention capacity, significantly affecting memory. To effectively train memory, the initial prerequisite is a firm conviction that memory can be trained. It is a muscle, not a gift bestowed upon a privileged few due to genetic predisposition. Yet, like all muscles, optimizing its growth requires understanding how it works. There is no better way to learn, absorb, and retain information long-term than by experiencing it with a high emotional charge. It is often humorously observed that emotionally charged experiences are far more memorable than simple facts. This illustrates how memory operates. Experiences with strong emotional content, such as traumas, are deeply ingrained in the subconscious and recalled with far greater clarity. This principle can be leveraged by consciously changing the context of learning. For instance, studying or applying learning techniques in the Luxembourg Gardens in Paris, or a different coffee shop or library, perhaps with a new group of friends, can transform the learning experience. The emotional impact is not merely cognitive, it is also physiological. Consider how a particular scent or a certain situation can transport one back to a specific moment or feeling in life. Making the learning process more sensory and emotionally resonant significantly enhances retention. This implies that one of the essential pillars of memory training is consistently stepping out of the comfort zone. Avoid always seeking the familiar route. Refrain from using GPS when the destination is known or clearly signposted. Resist the urge to Google information immediately when the answer isn't instantly recalled, or to ask a partner, parent, or friend what was eaten for breakfast the night before. Push intellectually until the answer is discovered. It is often puzzling why
this logic is so readily adopted for physical muscle training, knowing that exertion and effort lead to growth, but not equally applied to intelligence or memory. It is crucial to begin nurturing these fundamental pillars. Hydration and nutrition are considered paramount for self-care if memory or intelligence is to be enhanced. Empirically, it has been observed that sufficient hydration, even exceeding daily requirements, combined with a good, healthy diet following a specific regimen, leads to improved retention capacity, mental agility, and overall cognitive processing. What then are these beneficial foods? First, it is vital to remember that the human body is approximately 75% water, and the brain is, quite literally, mostly liquid. Scientific evidence clearly demonstrates the negative impact of insufficient hydration, often simply due to an unconscious lack of necessary fluids for optimal cognitive function. Regarding food, Harvard Health Medical School highlights that foods optimizing cognitive processes are those rich in antioxidants, monounsaturated lipids, fatty acids, omega-3, flavonoids, vitamin A, and vitamin K. Omega-3 fatty acids are crucial for strengthening cerebral cellular structures, commonly known as neurons, and can be found in oily fish like salmon, as well as eggs. Antioxidants help reduce or reverse the effects of oxidative stress, a prevalent issue in the constantly working brain and a primary contributor to age-related cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases, such as Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. Sources of antioxidants include oranges, dark chocolate, and coffee. Monounsaturated or healthy fats, found in avocados and olive oil, are essential for reducing arterial pressure, as prolonged high arterial pressure has been identified as a factor increasing the probability of suffering from cognitive or neurodegenerative conditions. Vitamin K, also beneficial, is present in foods like broccoli. Additionally, certain supplements such as ginkgo and ginseng have been incorporated during demanding periods, such as preparation for intense public speaking engagements. These are natural cognitive enhancers, not substances that induce hallucinations or altered perceptions. For those interested in enhancing their cognitive environment, these supplements can provide an impulse, though intelligence is not solely dependent on them. Further details will be explored in a dedicated video on this topic. The remaining two essential pillars are quality sleep and physical activity. Extensive scientific demonstrations and articles supporting their importance have been discussed on this channel. Viewers are encouraged to explore other videos covering these subjects, as these pillars are crucial not only for cognitive function, but also for preventing the decline of cognitive capabilities with age. Resources, including videos such as 100 hours a week, are available for deeper dives into these topics, with various links of interest provided in the description. It is important to clarify that all muscles grow with effort and recovery, and memory is no exception. Ensuring adequate sleep, typically 8 hours, is critical for consolidating learned information. There is no better feeling than waking up ready to recite a well-rehearsed speech after a night of restorative sleep. Therefore, it is strongly advised never to sacrifice sleep before an exam or important presentation. Instead, organize study efforts months in advance, leaving the day before solely for rest. This allows the mind to integrate and preserve all information effectively for the day of the exam, discussion, or conference. Thank you for being part of this community. While much information is shared, nothing would be possible without your engagement. Comments and suggestions for new content or modifications to existing techniques are always appreciated. To support this work, please like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might benefit, your family, friends, or colleagues. By giving, one truly receives. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.